Welcome to section 6.4, solving linear systems by multiplying first. So the 6.4 is just like 6.3. We're going to solve by elimination. However, this time our linear systems, those equations, are not going to line up nicely where we can either add or subtract right away. So what we're actually going to have to do is multiply an entire equation by a value first, so that we can get it to match in some way so it will cancel out nicely. So for example, in this first one, if I want to get that 6x to cancel out, I need to multiply the 2x by something in order to get that to turn into a 6x. So what I'll actually end up doing is I will multiply this entire line by a -3. Because personally, I like adding more than I like subtracting. So if we multiply by a negative, we can then add our equations together. So -3 times 2x will give us a -6x. -3 times 3y will give us a -9y. And -3 times 5 will give us a -15. Now we can then add to that first equation of 6x plus 5y equals 19. And now we can add these together. So our x's will cancel. Our -9y plus 5y will give us a -4y. And -15 plus 19 will give us a +4. Well, now to get y by itself, we can divide both sides by -4. And we'll come out with a y equals -1. So now we solve for the y value. So now we can go back and solve for our x value. And we can plug this y equals -1 into our new equation that we found. Or we can multiply it into either of our original equations. I'm probably going to do this second equation right here, just because it's the smallest number that will multiply by y, because 3 is nicer than 5 or 9, at least in my opinion. So I'll do that one. So 2x plus 3 times we're putting in a -1 for y equals 5. Well, 2x plus 3 times -1 is -3 equals 5. We can add 3 to both sides, and we get a 2x equals 8. Then we can divide both sides by 2, and we get an x equals 4. So our final answer was 4, -1. Let's try another one. This one's a little tricky because, well, first of all, it's not lined up right. So what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to subtract the 3x from both sides. So we will have a -3x plus 2y equals -9. Then our other equation was 4x plus 5y equals 35. Well, I'm looking at our 3 and our 4, and there's no nice numbers to get one to look like the other. And 2 and 5, that's also not really great, nice numbers. So you actually have a couple of options. One option is you could think, oh, well, 2 times 2.5 will get us to that 5. And so that is one good option. And you could do that. You will then just have more decimals. I personally don't like that strategy as much just because I don't like multiplying with decimals. It's just never been my favorite thing. But what I would do would be, I'm thinking, oh, maybe we can sort of think of this like trying to find common denominators. Is there something I can multiply the top by to get one equation, and then a different something we multiply the bottom by to get an equation where things will cancel out nicely? And because of that, I actually really like this 3 and the 4, because for some reason, I immediately just know 12. 12 is going to be a good number to try to multiply those two. So if that's the case, that -3, I'm going to multiply that whole equation by 4, which will then give us a -12x plus 2 times 4 is going to give us 8y equals -9 times 4 is -36. That bottom equation then, I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 3. So 4 times 3 will give us to 12. So 4x times 3 will get us to 12x. 5y times 3 will get us a 15y. And 35 times 3, that will get us 105. Now we can go ahead and just add these together. So 12x plus -12x, well, that'll cancel out. 8y plus 15y will get us a 23y. And negative 36 plus 105 will get us to a positive 69. So now we can divide both sides by 23, and we'll actually come out with y equals 3. That's pretty nice. Well, now since we know y is equal to 3, we can go and plug that into any of our y's from earlier. I'm probably going to go for this 5y here, just because multiplying by 5 seems kind of nice. So 4x plus 5 times 3 is equal to 35. Well, 5 times 3, that's 15, plus 4x equals 35. We can subtract the 15 from both sides, and we'll get a 4x equals 20. Well, now we can divide both sides by 4, and we get an x equals 5. So our final answer is x will equal 5, y will equal 3. Let's do one more word problem, and then I'll let you go to work on your homework. So Darlene is making a quilt using 2 types of fabric. She spends $76 for 16 yards of total fabric. Well, that means we know that our first fabric plus the second fabric, our total number of yards has to be 16. Now, fabric A costs $6 per yard. So $6 times the number A, which is our yards of fabric A, and fabric B costs $4 per yard. So B is $4 times the number of yards of fabric type B. And when we multiply those together, or multiply and add those together, that's going to bring us our total cost, which was $76. Well, now we've got a system of equations that represents this. And that's actually all the more to ask for. We didn't actually have to solve this one. We just needed a system of equations. So that's all I've got for you for today. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.